Pomp, the big news of the weekend was Aaron Rodgers. He was in town. He signed that deal. It ended up being not far off from what he said. If you recall when he said, I'd play somewhere for $10 million, that is all his guaranteed money is.
Right, but its total value is almost $20 million.
Yeah, that they can get up there. Now, that has to do with playtime and performance incentives, which would tell me, okay, he has the 13.65 base here, but if he plays well, that's good for the Steelers. It'll be good for him because he will have nearly $6 million more dollars in his pocket. It does feel like they got a bit of a bargain, even at his age, sort of how they got the bargain for Russell Wilson last year. Now, it wasn't quite the veteran minimum, but let's hope that that Walmart movie bin gives them a better film than it did last year with Russell Wilson.
Yeah, it's, this is going to be another new starting quarterback. So, every year since Ben Roethlisberger's left, there's been somebody new starting week one, and this will be another one. And I don't expect this to be the same situation next year. So likely there'll be another starting quarterback, unless Rodgers plays this ridiculous level of football and they feel that he could play another year, which I don't think that's in the cards for now. But yeah, Aaron Rodgers, it's funny how this works. Donnie, you probably have felt it out there with Steeler fans. There was a lot of, I don't want him around before he ever signed. Why are we wasting our time? He's 41, going to be 42. And once it happened, even though I think most people knew it would happen at some point, a lot of people went the other way. Where this could take you, the Steelers. Are they now playoff contenders, Super Bowl contenders? So I think it's just extremes on that kind of stuff. I think he's capable of doing some good things. I also think he's capable of having a bad year just because of what surrounds him at times. We'll see what the offensive line does and everything. But, for now, is he a better option than anything else they have? Yes.
Fan text line, that's brought to you by Edgar Snyder and Associates, a personal injury law firm where they always say there's never a fee unless we get money for you. Bob, what do you think the ceiling is with Aaron Rodgers at QB? Let's assume he plays every game. Let's not assume injury, even though it might be safe to assume a game or two is missed at least. But let's just assume he plays the full thing.
Yeah, I think if everything goes right, and a lot of this is to do with what happens defensively, what happens with their offensive line. You have two new tackles, basically. Defense has to do better against the run. If they don't, they're going to be gouged up again. So I think if they're healthy, if the offensive line does what I think people expect it to do, then I think 10 wins, 11 wins maybe is probably where we're looking at. I don't think it changes all that much if he wasn't the starting quarterback. Maybe by a couple of wins, but I think all the odds makers, Donnie, if you look at it, it did not move all that much once he signed. I think it was kind of even baked in. They knew it was going to happen, so whatever the win total was hasn't changed significantly.
I think the ceiling, similar to you, I think it's 11 wins. I think that's like best case scenario, that they can go 11-6. Now, do they win a playoff game? Because 11-6, you're going to make the playoffs. It would be pretty stunning with the 7-team field now on each side if you don't make the playoffs with that record. I mean, the question of them winning a playoff game, that's really the $1 million question because of how long it has been. And he's had a little bit of an individual drought, too, when it comes to winning a playoff game. I mean, for me, and I know this is kind of common sense, but I don't like the explanation from people or the reasoning from people when they tend to say, like, well, just get in and anything can happen. I don't care for that because the last few times the Steelers have just gotten in, and we know what's going to happen. They're going to get bullied all over the field for 60 minutes, and that has been what has happened the last couple of times. So I haven't been able to get behind that thought process for a little while. Just get in and anything can happen. It's the single elimination tournament. It really depends on them avoiding a few teams in the AFC. I don't think.
I think that's absolutely true. It's the path you are forced to play. And if you end up as a wild card team again, you know what that path is. It's a tough path. It's going to lead you into areas you don't want to go. The ideal thing is somehow to win a division. I'll say this about Mike Tomlin the last couple of years. They've won games in their division that not many people thought they would. A couple of years ago, what was it, 5-1 in the AFC North? So, but you can't have losses that are going to, put it in a situation where you're a second wild card. You got to go on the road and right off your first opponent is somebody that's going to be favored by 10 points. You got to avoid that. But I do see their offense potentially getting better. I still think it's incomplete. They need another second receiver. As much as I want to say that a guy like Calvin Austin's improving, he is, but you still need a big time player over there.